I'm a breast surgeon. I'm a surgical oncologist, and my area of interest is breast cancer. So I deal exclusively with breast cancer. So in 2001 is when I actually got into practice, which is when I joined surgical oncology as a senior registrar. And that is where I developed this interest in surgical oncology. Currently, I'm the director of the breast surgical oncology service at Max Patparganj and Vaishali. So there are challenges everywhere, and I think for women it is never easy, whichever profession you may pick up. And I chose to become a surgeon. Being a surgeon in a very male-dominated space is not easy. But then I have never, shied away from challenges. I've always taken it head on, and of course there were issues, but you just overcome them because you have to create that space, and you have to make a niche space for yourself. You just have to keep working hard and getting to that point. I love to write. I always see myself as writing a book, but then I know that writing a book is a lot of commitment and a lot of time. Something that I really cannot spare at the moment, considering the kind of clinical work that I'll end up doing. So I thought writing on my website is a great way to connect. So that is when I started writing little snippets from my experiences with patients, with something that I felt strongly about. And I thought it was a great way to send across to others who probably find themselves in a similar situation and don't know who to identify with. So that is how I started writing on the website. And so from the website, it just goes on to your Facebook, it goes on to Instagram. So I want to do a lot of things other than my profession in the future, because with the kind of profession that we are in, you don't land up finding too much of time to pursue your interests. So yes, the profession is important, and I'm sure as we grow, I need to mentor people. I need to mentor people around me so that they carry on this legacy of work that we have created. So that is one bit of it, but then I want to do something different. I always envisage myself as probably breaking into something like organic farming or singing or something like that, something that I always wanted to do, and probably even write a book. So you never know. So I had my younger colleagues telling me you should be doing something on the digital platform. You should have your own website, because that is how news travels about what you are doing. And if you're doing a great job, automatically that gets magnified in the digital space. So that is how I got introduced to the digital platform. So I have been associated with NowFloats for 5 years. So the good thing about NowFloats is that I have a lot of control on what I write on that space. Unlike a lot of other websites where you have to actually give information and that gets, sifted through and, they put it up. So with this, platform, I have the full range of expression. It has worked for me, and I think I quite have enjoyed the association with NowFloats, primarily because of the independence it gives me. I could be sitting in the car and, if I've got those 5 minutes, I can write something and just post it and it goes through. Everybody is very tech savvy. They're very much on the net. They will Google you, to be sure that you're landing up with the right person. So I do get feedback from patients who come and say, we read that post written by you. It was very nice. And so I think it must have helped. Must have helped in the sense it must have helped in creating a certain impression about this person that the patient is going to meet even before they have met you. So probably engaging with NowFloats would have made an impression on the person who's actually reading those posts, and they may have decided to come and see me, following that interaction. NowFloats is very user-friendly. So I would attribute the user-friendliness to letting me do something without too much of fuss, because I would not have done the same had there been too many steps to doing it. Had there been 7 or 8 steps before I actually managed to put in a post, I would have never done it. This is simple. You just write something and you just push post and it gets done. Sometimes, rarely ever, I would probably just look at how many people have visited my website. So their analytics are pretty easy and simple and straightforward. So I do sometimes take a peek. Not that it influences my mind very much, but yes, So the analytics bit of NowFloats is quite interesting and quite easy to follow. So I think, like I said, there is some point where you have to engage and you have to see what works for you. So, for doctors also, a platform like NowFloats does give them an opportunity to engage with their potential patients who may want to interact with them. Like I said, if they don't know you, they can't interact with you. And now that everything is happening in the digital space, so I think for doctors also, it is inevitable that they should be there on the digital space. And it is an easier way. It's got a huge compounding effect.